Shedeur Sanders hasn't played a single down in the NFL, and yet he might already be the most talked about quarterback in the Dallas Cowboys orbit. The buzz is deafening. The rumors are wild. And the name that keeps surfacing in all the chaos? Dak Prescott. Because according to a wave of reports, rumblings, and cryptic soundbites, the Cowboys might be seriously considering doing the unthinkable, handing over the keys to the most scrutinized position in football, to a rookie. And not just any rookie, but the Shedeur Sanders, son of Dion, darling of college football and walking media magnet. If it feels like Dallas is about to turn into a full-blown reality show, you're not wrong.
If you're into the real story and all the messy twists they don't show on highlight reels, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're sticking around to see how this Browns QB chaos plays out, you should definitely be subscribed.
This isn't just about potential. It's about marketing. Headlines. Hype. The Cowboys, more than any other franchise, thrive on attention, and Jerry Jones knows exactly how to get it. So when a name like Shedeur Sanders pops up as a possible heir to the star, it's not hard to imagine the front office's eyes lighting up. The fans? They're completely divided. One half's already making jersey mock-ups. The other's panicking at the idea of replacing a veteran starter with someone who's never taken an NFL snap. And let's be clear, this isn't some back-office speculation. The energy around this move feels intentional. Jerry Jones has never been one to shy away from bold, headline-friendly decisions. To him, chaos is just good branding. And the idea of merging Cowboys history with primetime legacy? That's the kind of spectacle that practically markets itself. But what happens to Dak Prescott in all this? The guy who's been the team's steady presence through thick and thin, now staring down the possibility of being pushed out, not by performance but by potential. There's no official trade yet, no benching announcement. But there doesn't have to be. The writing's already smeared all over the wall and it's in highlighter. This isn't your typical quarterback transition. It's a full-on generational flashpoint. A statement. The Cowboys aren't just considering a roster change, they're considering a rebrand. And it's all riding on whether Shedeur can make the leap from hyped prospect to NFL sensation, in the most unforgiving spotlight imaginable. One thing's for sure. No matter how this plays out, the Cowboys are about to dominate the news cycle. Again. Because with Jerry Jones at the helm and Shedeur Sanders in the conversation, the line between football and entertainment just got a whole lot blurrier. And honestly, we kind of can't look away. The NFL world is in full meltdown mode after whispers started swirling that the Cowboys, yes, America's team, are seriously considering replacing longtime quarterback Dak Prescott with none other than Shedeur Sanders. And if your jaw hit the floor reading that, welcome to the club. Because across the sports landscape, this move is being greeted with a mix of disbelief, outrage, hype, and pure chaos. A seasoned starter with nearly a decade of experience, benched or traded for a college kid who hasn't played a single NFL down. That's not a rebuild. That's a reality show. To say this has split the fanbase would be an understatement. The moment the rumor surfaced, Cowboys Twitter turned into a battleground. One side sees Shedeur Sanders as the second coming, charismatic, confident, and raised in the spotlight. The other sees a franchise about to throw away stability in exchange for trending topics and media buzz. And if you're wondering who's at the center of all this? 3 words, Jerry freaking Jones. Of course he is. This is the same owner who spent decades turning the Dallas Cowboys into an empire built just as much on drama and ratings as it is on wins and losses. Jones isn't just the face of the franchise, he's the showrunner. And in true Jerry fashion, the Cowboys are once again doing what no other franchise would dare attempt, replacing a proven starter with a headline. Because make no mistake, this isn't about performance. Dak Prescott has been the anchor of this team through thick and thin. Injuries, inconsistent coaching, media firestorms, he's taken it all on the chin. He's led Dallas to the playoffs. He's been the steady voice in a locker room that's always one loss away from imploding. He's been the guy. And now, that role might belong to Shedeur Sanders, the son of Dion, the face of college football's most media-savvy resurgence. A player with sky-high potential, but no NFL tape to his name. The hype is blinding. But the resume? Improving. So why is this happening? Because in Dallas, buzz beats balance. Every single time. Jerry Jones doesn't just want to win games, he wants to dominate headlines. And Shedeur Sanders, whether he's ready or not, is a walking headline. From his flashy college career to his massive social media presence, he's not just a quarterback, he's a brand. And for a franchise obsessed with staying in the spotlight, that's more valuable than a stable QB1. This isn't just a roster change, it's a philosophical shift. A shift away from traditional football values like loyalty, consistency, and leadership. And a shift towards spectacle, virality, and PR strategy. You're not just replacing a quarterback, you're handing the keys to the team over to a media event. Which raises the obvious question: what happens to Dak? If Shedeur's truly being groomed to take over, there's only two options: trade him or bench him. Either way, the message is clear: Prescott's days as the face of the franchise are numbered. That's not speculation. That's what this move means. And no matter how it's spun, it's a betrayal. Dak has been nothing but loyal to this franchise. He's put his body on the line. He's taken below-market contracts. He's been the calming force through years of dysfunction. And now, with a team this close to being a legit contender, the Cowboys are flirting with tossing it all for hype and hope. It's not just risky, it's insulting. But this is what Dallas does. The franchise thrives on spectacle. And every year when things feel stable, Jerry Jones gets bored. This isn't about football. It's about staying relevant. And with Shedeur, they see a player who can deliver attention, even if he hasn't delivered anything else yet. But let's not sugarcoat it, this is a massive gamble. Shedeur Sanders is talented. No one is denying that. But the NFL isn't college football. The speed is faster. The defenses are meaner. And the expectations? Relentless. Especially in Dallas. The second he steps onto the field, he won't just be a rookie quarterback. He'll be the guy who replaced a proven leader. One bad drive and the media will pounce. One interception and fans will turn. The pressure? Unbelievable. And if Shedeur doesn't deliver immediately, it won't just be his reputation at stake. It'll be Jerry's. And the entire Cowboys brand. Because this team has a long, painful history of overhyped quarterbacks. Quarterbacks crowned before they've accomplished anything. And every time the results are the same: disappointment, chaos, and another year added to the post-Super Bowl drought. This is a franchise where hype eats strategy for breakfast. And it's happening again. Because in what world does it make football sense to push out your season starter for someone who hasn't even been drafted yet? Someone who's never faced an NFL defense? Someone whose biggest credential is a famous last name and a few viral clips? A world where Jerry Jones is running the show. That's where. And the fallout? It's already started. Analysts are stunned. Players are reportedly divided. And the fan base? In full civil war mode. Some are buying the dream. Others are watching the team they love morph into a reality show with cleats. And let's be real, this isn't just a team decision. It's a brand play. Dallas isn't just chasing wins anymore. They're chasing engagement. They want to be the story. Even if the story comes with drama, controversy, and long-term damage. They want the clicks, the headlines, the jersey sales, the viral moments. And in Shedeur Sanders, they see all of it wrapped up in one photogenic package. But here's the brutal truth. You can't build a dynasty on hype. You can't win playoff games with buzz. You need leadership. You need chemistry. You need experience. And Dak Prescott, for all his critics, has that. You take him out of the equation, and you're gambling the next 5 years of the franchise on an experiment. A quarterback who might be great someday, but probably isn't ready now. And if it backfires? You don't just lose games. You lose the locker room. You lose the trust of your veterans. You send a message that nobody's job is safe if someone flashier comes along. You alienate your fan base. And you turn the Cowboys, already teetering on the edge of self-parody, into a full-blown circus. This is what happens when entertainment becomes more important than execution. And once again, the Cowboys are choosing drama over development. So what happens next? Does Jerry double down and make the switch official? Does Dak request a trade? Does Shedeur walk into the building as the most talked about rookie in recent history? However it plays out, the message is already clear. Dallas isn't building a football team. They're casting a show. And everyone's watching. Let us know where you stand. Is Shedeur Sanders the bold move Dallas needs, or just another episode in Jerry's never-ending circus? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to subscribe, because in Cowboys Nation the chaos never stops. The Dallas Cowboys aren't just making waves, they're making tsunamis. The idea that Dak Prescott, the longtime face of the franchise, could be tossed aside for Shedeur Sanders? It's not just controversial, it's historic. And not in the hoisting a trophy kind of way, in the we might be watching a total identity crisis unfold in real time kind of way. And here's the reality. This situation isn't about football anymore. It's about control. Ego. Brand building. The Cowboys have become less of an NFL team and more of a media experiment. One where the outcome of games matters less than how many times they trend on social media. And at the center of it all is Jerry Jones, once again turning what should be a strategic football decision into a high-stakes PR stunt. Let's not ignore what this means for Dak. This guy has done everything right. He's been consistent, composed, and unshakably professional, even while being tossed into the media grinder every time the Cowboys lose a primetime game. He's played through injury. He's taken the heat. He's led through chaos. And now, the franchise he's carried might replace him with a rookie whose entire NFL resume is still hypothetical. There's no way to sugarcoat that. It's a slap in the face. And the craziest part? There's no obvious reason for it. Dak's numbers, while not elite every season, are solid. He's a top-tier starter by any reasonable metric. He's won the division. He's led playoff runs. He's done it all in a system that's constantly shifting around him, with coordinator changes, defensive implosions, and a front office that's more interested in sizzle than structure. But the second a flashy, high-profile rookie enters the conversation, suddenly Dak becomes disposable? That says everything you need to know about how Dallas operates now. This isn't just about replacing Dak. It's about undermining him. Because the moment you start floating these rumors, whether they're leaked on purpose or not, you destabilize everything. You erode trust in leadership. You send a signal to the locker room that no amount of loyalty, performance, or professionalism can protect you if the front office sees something shinier. And let's be honest, this is Jerry Jones's playbook 101. Find a story, feed it, watch the chaos unfold. He's done it before. Dez Bryant, Tony Romo, Ezekiel Elliott. Even head coaches haven't been immune to the headline first, plan second approach Jones loves so much. And now it's Shedeur Sanders in the spotlight, not because of what he's done but because of who he is, what he represents, and how many eyeballs he brings with him. It's not about wins. It's about attention. And nobody draws attention right now quite like Shedeur. The son of Deion Sanders, raised in the spotlight, coached by one of the loudest figures in football, Shedeur has been groomed for this kind of platform. But the NFL is not college football. It's not YouTube highlights and pre-game interviews. It's grown men, career killers, and 350-pound linemen coming at you faster than a TikTok trend dies. And still, the Cowboys seem ready to roll the dice. They're ready to bench, trade, or sideline a proven veteran to welcome in the idea of Shedeur. Because that's all it is right now, an idea. A projection. A flashy, overhyped dream being packaged as a future reality. And when has that ever worked out in Dallas? Remember when Quincy Carter was the next great hope? Remember the hype around Drew Henson? Even the Tony Romo era, impressive as it was, never got past the glass ceiling of playoff heartbreak. Dallas has always been in love with the idea of greatness. The dream. The marketing potential. The superstar savior that turns everything around. But it's always been just out of reach. And now they're repeating that cycle again with even higher stakes. Because if Shedeur comes in and struggles, this entire gamble explodes. You've alienated your veteran QB. You've shaken the locker room. You've split the fan base. You've made yourself a national story, not for greatness but for dysfunction. And if Shedeur does play well, the pressure only increases. Every mistake will be magnified. Every quote from Deion Sanders will be dissected. Every interview, every social media post, every sideline camera cut, it will all become part of the Cowboys' never-ending media narrative. And don't think other teams aren't watching. Front offices across the league are clocking this move with disbelief. Not because they don't think Shedeur can play, but because the timing is madness. This isn't a rebuild. This isn't a tanking team. This is a playoff-caliber roster that's about to inject a media circus right into the middle of its quarterback room. It's like swapping your pilot mid-flight because a younger one has more followers. The logic doesn't track, but the branding sure does. Jerry Jones doesn't care about subtlety, or optics, or quarterback psychology. He cares about the Cowboys being the biggest story in sports, even if that story ends in disappointment. And if you think that sounds harsh, look at the pattern. The Cowboys don't chase rings. They chase relevance. And Shedeur? He brings it in spades. He brings the Sanders name. He brings the college stardom. He brings interviews, cameras, jersey sales, and the kind of buzz that makes casual fans tune in, not to watch football but to watch the drama. To see what happens next. This is less about strategy and more about storytelling. And right now, Dallas is writing a season of television, not a football season. The risk? Astronomical. Because if this backfires, the fallout is going to be nuclear. Dak leaves and you lose the one stable piece you've had for nearly a decade. Shedeur struggles and you've torched your credibility as a franchise. And the locker room? Good luck repairing that. Veterans want to win. They don't want to be part of an influencer experiment. This isn't Colorado. It's not college anymore. And it's not a scrappy underdog story when you're playing for the most visible team in the NFL. It's pressure magnified. And what happens when Deion Sanders inevitably starts chiming in? When he makes a comment about coaching, or leadership, or expectations? Do you think the Cowboys' already unpredictable culture can handle that? Because the Cowboys are already a media frenzy on quiet days. Add in the Sanders brand and you've got a 24/7 coverage cycle that makes even the most veteran media-trained teams buckle. It's a powder keg. And Jerry's standing over it with a match. But the scariest part is this: even if it fails, it won't stop. Because Dallas doesn't learn. They just reload the next story. The next hype wave. The next gamble. They'll recover with more spin, more distractions, and more noise. The Cowboys aren't chasing Super Bowls anymore. They're chasing spotlights. And Shedeur Sanders, ready or not, is walking into that spotlight with the weight of the most talked-about franchise in football on his shoulders. So the only question left is, can he handle it? And even if he can, should he have to? Because whether you're Team Dak or Team Shedeur, one thing's clear: this move isn't about football anymore. It's about being seen. And the Cowboys? They'd rather go viral than go to the Super Bowl. The Cowboys aren't even pretending to care about conventional wisdom. They've taken the NFL script, ripped it up, and replaced it with a plot twist so wild it feels more like a Netflix drama than a football strategy. And honestly, that's the problem. There's a difference between bold leadership and reckless theatrics, and right now the Cowboys are towing that line in cleats. The idea of replacing Dak Prescott with Shedeur Sanders isn't just a football decision. It's a full-blown franchise-altering pivot that says one thing loud and clear: spectacle wins. Never mind that Dak is the guy who's weathered every storm this team's created. Never mind that he's remained level-headed while the defense collapses, the coaching carousel spins, and the offensive line takes turns pretending to block. He's been the glue in a system that's constantly trying to tear itself apart. And his reward? Uncertainty. Public doubt. A not-so-subtle reminder that loyalty in Dallas is about as solid as a 3-point lead in the fourth quarter. And then there's Shedeur. Shedeur Sanders isn't just entering the NFL as a player, he's entering as a phenomenon. He's carrying the legacy of his father, Deion Sanders. He's been at the center of one of the loudest, most media-saturated college football stories in recent memory. And now, without a single NFL snap, he's being positioned as the next face of the most scrutinized team in football. It's not his fault, but it is his burden. Because stepping into the quarterback role in Dallas isn't just about arm strength or field vision. It's about stepping into a pressure cooker, one that eats careers and spits out memes. And no matter how talented Shedeur is, he's still untested. He hasn't been through the wars. He hasn't taken the late-season hits in freezing stadiums with playoff lives on the line. He hasn't been dissected by NFL-caliber defensive coordinators, hit by 300-pound blitzers who don't care how many followers you have, and asked to lead a team that collapses under expectations every single year. But apparently that doesn't matter anymore. Because what does matter, at least to Jerry Jones, is the buzz. The headlines. The perception that Dallas is doing something bold and fresh and unexpected. Whether or not it works is secondary. Because that's the new Cowboys formula: make noise, then figure it out later. And the real irony? This team isn't in a rebuild. They're not in some transitional holding pattern. They've got talent. Playmakers. A defense that, on the right day, looks championship-worthy. This isn't the time to blow up the most important position on the field in favor of a viral narrative. But here we are, staring down the possibility of a total quarterback reset. Not because of performance issues, but because Dallas wants the show. And that's the part that stings the most for fans who've been here through all the near misses and heartbreak. Because they've seen this movie before. The flashy off-season moves. The bold proclamations. The overhyped QB experiments that crash the minute real adversity hits. The Cowboys have a long, rich history of promising new eras that go absolutely nowhere once the hype train derails. And yet, somehow this feels even riskier. Even more chaotic. Because replacing Dak Prescott with Shedeur Sanders isn't just a personnel decision. It's a philosophical declaration. It says the Cowboys care more about what it looks like than what it is. It says development, experience, and consistency can all be thrown out the window if someone younger, flashier, and more marketable comes along. It says this franchise, once a powerhouse defined by grit and greatness, has become a reality show franchise with a football budget. And the worst part? There's no turning back. Not now. Even if Jerry walks it back. Even if Shedeur stays on the bench. Even if Dak somehow plays out his contract, it's already done. The trust is fractured. The fans are divided. The narrative is out in the wild and it's not going away. The locker room knows. The league knows. The world knows. This is now a team dangling between two realities, one grounded in performance and stability, and one built entirely on spectacle. So where do the Cowboys go from here? If they move forward with Shedeur as the starter, they better hope he's more than just hype. Because anything less than immediate success will spark an avalanche of criticism, infighting, and second-guessing. Dak's absence will hang over every incompletion like a ghost. If they keep Dak and push Shedeur into a backup role, they've still planted a seed of instability that won't stop growing. Every interception, every loss, every bad quarter from Dak will fuel the narrative that Shedeur should take over. This situation doesn't have a clean ending. No matter what path they take, the Cowboys have already chosen drama over discipline. And that's the story now. Not football. Not leadership. Drama. Drop your take in the comments. Do you think Shedeur is ready to take over the Cowboys, or is Dallas gambling away its only shot at real stability? And don't forget to subscribe. Because with this team, the headlines don't stop. And neither does the madness.